Hey everybody, Goosebumps for Dummies back at it again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Say Cheese and Die, rather the episode, not the book. And this episode features Ryan Gosling. Yes, now I'm not extremely familiar with the actor besides this, of course. I just know he's extremely popular, but I don't watch a lot of movies with him in it. The only movie I've seen with him in it as of late is Barbie. So that's going to be a funny comparison. I can't believe bro went from being Greg Banks, one of the coolest protagonists of all of Goosebumps, that's a bit of a stretch, to fucking Ken. Are you fucking serious? Anyways, yep, today we're gonna be talking about Say Cheese and Die's episode adaptation, and boy is it a banger, and also a very popular episode. A lot of people rate this very high, some people not as high as others. Either way, it's a very well liked and very well popular episode. And I can see why, especially since it's based off such a fantastic book. So yeah, let's get to it. So what happens in this episode? Well, Greg Banks and his two friends are looking upon this old abandoned building. Now, his two friends are called Bird and Sari. One's a girl, one's a boy, obviously. And our young Ryan Gosling is making some weird rumors and just restating stuff he's heard about this old man named Spidey. We see this old man come out of the building, and once he leaves the premise, they go inside. I guess it's a dare or something. So, Ryan Gosling and his three friends, I'm sorry I'm not calling him Greg, it's just kind of funny. They go inside and they discover this weird little workshop, I guess, with this creepy lighting and weird stuff just lying around everywhere. Greg finds his camera, most interestingly, and he takes a picture of his friend who's on the top of the stairs juggling. I believe that's Bird. And right after he's done, he may or may not fall off the stairs. Surprisingly, he's not that injured, but goddamn, that didn't look like a nice fall, and it was it's kind of weird that he just randomly falls off the stairs. Anyways, Spidey comes back and he screams at him. They just narrowly escape the building and stop to catch their breath. When Greg notices that the picture he took of his friend isn't exactly right. The picture shows him falling off the stairs. Now, if you were paying attention, that happened after the picture, and Greg does notice that, but he shrugs it off when his friends just run off. He goes home with the camera, and he sees a new car in its driveway. His brother is next to it, and he urges him to take a picture with his new camera. Greg snaps a photo, and the photo may or may not turn out rather bad. The car in the photo is fucking destroyed. Absolutely wrecked. Later at night at dinner, Greg and his parents and his brother are all talking about the new car, and his dad decides to go out and give it a spin with the family. Greg is not too excited about this, obviously, because the last time he took a photo of something, it turned out to show something very bad, and that very bad something turned out to be true, which was his friend Bird falling off the stairs. So he's obviously very fucking worried if this is gonna come true. And lucky for him, it doesn't, but it gets damn close. In the process, his picture also flies out the car window. But yeah, I guess his picture didn't come true quite yet. That night, Greg has a nightmare that is literally the book cover of Say Cheese and Die, and also is a scene in the book. Fun fact, the scene in the book was actually added after the cover was made, or, I don't know, because they wanted it. The following day, Greg and his friend Bird are walking on the sidewalk, and Greg's kind of discussing the weird shit that's happened with the camera, with Bird falling down the stairs, the nightmare he had, I believe, and of course, the car thing. His friend Bird is just not in it at all. He thinks it's stupid, and even tries to take Greg's picture for a second, which is pretty goofy. And then Greg's two bullies just roll the fuck up in their Lamborghini. Well, not really, they just walk up to him. They toy around with him for a bit, and in the end they try to steal his camera. Of course, Greg is a good guy and doesn't want these kids getting hurt, even if he fucking hates them. So he runs off with the camera, Bird follows after, and they magically land in Sherry's backyard. Not really, they hop a fence, but they get in there, and Sari's just chilling back there, and she's like, "Oh, good, I'm glad you're here." I guess they were already on their way or something. I have no fucking clue. And she urges him to take a picture of her. This is not exactly in Greg's interest, to say the least. But it happens. It turns out nothing really pops up in the photo, besides trees. So, basically, Sherry's just fucking invisible. Either she's a fucking vampire, or Greg's a really bad photographer, which he does say later. I guess he is. End of episode. Greg's brother shows up out of nowhere and tells Greg that there's been an accident. Their father is in the hospital, as we see next. And he ain't looking too good. He's got a cast on his leg. He's in a hospital bed. He looks like shit, alright? He's been in a terrible accident. And it turns out that Greg's picture of the car has come true. The car's now a total wreck. And his dad got injured in the process. Now that fucking sucks. That night, Greg at home is interrupted by cops. Yeah, cops just randomly fucking show up at your door. These cops question Greg about the disappearance of his friend, Sari. Yes, the picture from earlier of Sari has come true. She's not a vampire. Greg's not just a really bad photographer, even if he says he is, literally in the scene. The camera's actually fucking evil, or cursed. It's always switching around in a Goosebumps lore. And, yeah, she's disappeared. Fucking crazy. Greg is a horrible, horrible liar, and he accidentally reveals the photo in the end. And the cops get a little pissed off, but either way, he's in the clear for now, even though it's pretty obvious he has something to do with it. The next morning, Greg is chilling with his friend Bird, discussing everything that's been going on. And in the end, Greg rips up his fucking photos. Yeah, hopefully that undoes everything. It does, pretty obviously. In the end, Greg decides to go back to the building where he found the camera, and he encounters Sari. It is nighttime, and it's been like 24 hours plus since she's left. Apparently she was found now, because Greg ripped up the photo. Who would have saw that one coming? They go inside in the building, and then Spidey pops out of nowhere. And he wants the camera back, and he has this evil villain monologue. Super scary, super frightening. I pissed my pants a couple times during this scene. It took me 5 times to record it for footage. And in the end, he decides to kill him! Yes, Spidey is going to kill these kids. And he fails miserably. He gets trapped in the camera because the kids take a photo of him, and that's just how it goes down with him. Greg and Sari leave and enter, I don't know when, but enters Greg's bullies. And they may or may not release Spidey. Fuck. Starting off with positives, I think this episode was very, very creepy, very, very well done, very well directed, and I think the acting is overall fine, or rather solid. Overall, we'll get to a character in a minute. But I did also really like the final couple minutes of the episode with Spidey's villain monologue, and, well, rather villain-ish monologue. He isn't exactly a villain, he's just a crazed man, I guess. We also have cops in this episode, which is quite absurd for Goosebumps, but it's also very welcome. The nightmare sequence was really cool, and I also really liked the ending. It was decently creepy. It was a nice setup for a sequel, even if that's not how it went down even in the TV show. And yeah, the episode is overall really, really good. Just everything about it is really good, but there are a few things I don't like, and let's move on to the negatives. Sari's acting is fucking horrid. It's like she's reading off a script off camera. It's just really, really stiff. Especially in the scene where she just pops up out of nowhere after being missing for like 24 hours plus. Outside of the abandoned building. It's like the most stiff shit I've ever heard. It's horrible. Just god-awful. And even, I'm sorry, Ryan Gosling isn't even that good acting-wise in this episode. And he gets much better in other films and movies, and I think other shows. Just fine here. Nothing really notable about his appearance as the main character. It's just whatever. And also the first 10 or 5 something minutes are pretty bland, in my opinion. We have that nice opening, but after that, until like the 10th minute, or rather, the scene with the dad and Plus on in the hospital. Yeah, it's just bland between that. But not bland enough, because this episode is going to get a 9 out of 10 on the rating. And on the scare meter, I don't think this episode was too scary. It was decently creepy, though. I'll say creepy and scary are two different things. Scary is just fucking, scary. Creepy is just unnerving. Like, nothing really terrifying is going on. It's just, it's unsettling. But on the scare or fright meter, I'm gonna give this, like, a 2.5. It's halfway there, I guess. And I guess Chunky approved. I mean, it's got a 9 out of 10, and it's fucking Say Cheese and Die Man. Very, very solid episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Tell me what you think of this episode below. I know this is a fan favorite. I will see you guys in the next episode review for A Shocker on Shock Street. Yes, Shocker on Shock Street. Quite an interesting episode that is literally completely different from the book. So, it'll be a great, great fun episode. I'm very excited to talk about it, because my opinion on it varies a lot from time to time. So, we're going to have to really figure that one out over the course of the month. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.